Hare Krishna, welcome all the devotees. So today we are going to discuss the difference between Krishna and Vishnu, who is the source of whom, who is the source of all the material and spiritual creation. So we'll discuss this very interesting topic today we have taken because Janmashtami is going to come. So and few questions also I received from some of you. So I thought of discussing this topic that there should be an understanding about Krishna and Vishnu, a very correct understanding and a complete understanding, so that there may not be any doubt about whether Vishnu is supreme or Krishna is supreme, or both are supreme or both are one. What is the correct understanding? So we are going to discuss today. We'll start with prayers. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय श्री कृष्ण बलराम की जय श्री निताई गौरांग की जय शिला प्रभुपाद की जय श्री कृष्ण जन्माष्टमी महामहोत्सव की निताई गौर प्रेमनंदे हरि बोल. Since the dawn of time, the world has been inhabited by the various species of life. What makes human being different from rest of the others is ability to inquire. And one question which has steered the progress of civilization since millennia is what makes us happy. And in the pursuit of happiness, we have developed scientific and engineering marvels, explored out space, invented countless ways to tantalize our senses. So if you see, we have almost conquered everything, but still, after such kind of advancements and achievements, still we feel something to be missing. What is that missing factor? Why we are not able to achieve that contentment, bliss, and completeness in our life? Today, if you see, despite of such marvelous achievements in the top institutes, students who have achieved their desires to become happy and blissful, for which they are always anxious, they are broken and depressed. Students of IITs, ISCs, they are not happy. They are unfortunately broken and depressed and committing suicides. And more than that, what is happening? You see, the thought leaders, intellectuals, they are passing out resolution which are so stupid, like removal of ceiling fans from the hostels. Just see, it clearly shows that today thought leaders, intellectuals, think tanks, they don't have any clue that how to curb the today's problem which youths, especially youths, are facing today. They are clueless of, and hence we can prove that our education system, which we adore so much, has miserably failed to make people happy and contented in their life. So what is the hope? आज का एजुकेशन सिस्टम फ्लॉप हो गया. It is not making people happy. They say the advancement and what the in achievements we have done today, despite of all these things, the depression which today we have is more than the depression of the world war. Just see, this is a paradox of life. So then what is the hope? How to achieve happiness, for which we are always anxious? हमारा एजुकेशन सिस्टम फेल हो गया, हमारा सारा एडवांसमेंट फेल हो गया. रिलेटिव्स, फ्रेंड्स, हम जिसके बारे में सोचते हैं ये मुझे खुशी देंगे, वी आर गेटिंग चीटेड. So what is the hope? So Einstein gives a very wonderful understanding that we can never be happy by being on the same level of thinking on which we created the problem. We can be happy when we raise our level of thinking. So how to raise our level of thinking? And what is our current level of thinking? Currently we are thinking that I am this body. I am this body, this external, what is appearing to me, this is me. This is our current thinking, which has prevailed all over the world. Everybody, without any exception, they are convinced that I am this body. And all these things, advancements and achievements, exploration which are happening, this is all for the satisfaction of this body. Therefore, we are not happy. So there is a need of a knowledge which takes us to the next level of thinking, the real level of thinking. What is that real knowledge? And that's what the timeless gems of Vedic wisdom, Gita Mritam, the nectarian instruction of Bhagavad Gita. When Arjuna was bewildered and confused, puzzled, he was not able to understand what should I do. That time Krishna gave an empowered perspective of life. He changed the level of thinking of Arjuna from bodily concept, because he was thinking in the bodily concept of life. And Krishna raised his level of thinking to the soul platform of thinking, that we are not this body, we are spirit soul. Ajo nitya sashrato ayam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. I am not this body. This body is made of matter. I am eternal. Ajo nitya shashrato. We are eternal living entities. And when this body is dead, we are not dead. Mamai vamsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. All the living entities are eternal. Eternally part and parcel of Krishna. And we are all eternal. So because we are eternal and this material world is dukhalayam ashaswatam, bhutva bhutva praliyate. This is material world is changing, keep on changing. This is temporary world and we are eternal. The world is temporary where we are living in, and this is incompatible situation for us. Because we are eternal, we are looking for eternity, we are looking for eternal joy, eternal happiness, eternal relationship, eternal accommodation, eternal settlement. But this world is temporary. The body which we have assumed is temporary. So this is completely incompatible situation. It is like if you take fish out of water and put on the ground, and supply all the luxuries, amenities, whatever the best of, all these material advancements, what we have done, you supply all those things to fish. But whether fish will be happy? No. Fish is not going to be happy despite of all the luxuries. How fish will be happy? If you just take fish from the ground and put it back into the water. Just by doing this, fish will be happy. In the same way, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, 8th chapter, verse number 20, Paras tasmatu bhavanyo avyakto avyakta sanatanah Yes, sarveshu bhutesu nat satsu na vinasyati. There is another world. Paras tasmatu bhavanyo. There is another nature beyond this material manifestation. That is called spiritual world, and that is my world. And all the living entities, you are my part and parcel. You belong to that world. Krishna says in 8th chapter, verse number 20 and 21. You can read that. Avyakto aksharasiti yuktas paramam gatim yad gatva na nivartante tad dham paramam. After going there, we'll never come back to this world. That is eternal world of Krishna. See, we are all eternal. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, there is another world which is eternal, which is never destroyed, which is never annihilated. So there is world which is eternal. And we are also eternal. And this world where we are living in is temporary. So what we have to do? If somehow or other we can transfer ourselves from this temporary world, miserable world, to that world, eternal, permanent life, that will be the perfection of life. And that is what temple is. Temple. Transferring ephemeral and miserable world and achieve permanent life of enjoyment. Tem. Transfer ephemeral and miserable world and achieve permanent life of enjoyment. That's what temple facilitates. So when we engage ourselves in the devotional service of Krishna, then soul gets transported to the spiritual world. And that activity which enables us to engage in the service of Krishna, that is called, that activity which takes the Sanatan living entity to Sanatan abode is called Sanatan Dharma. This is Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan Dharma means which enables you to go back to the Sanatan world, because you are Sanatan, that world is Sanatan. So that activity which is doing this is Sanatan. That is called Sanatan Dharma. So now we have to go back to the spiritual world. That is called Golok Vrindavan. Krishna says that is abode of Krishna, and we all belong to Krishna. Now in Sanatan Dharma also, at times there are many confusions. Like one confusion, who is supreme among Vishnu and between Vishnu and Krishna? Whether Krishna is coming from Vishnu or Vishnu is coming from Krishna. When we come in contact of Prabhupada's philosophy, then we hear that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is the cause of all causes. Before coming to this point, we had understanding of Vishnu is supreme. Krishna is the incarnation of Vishnu. So then here comes a doubt. Who is who? Who is holding what position? So it is very nicely explained in our scriptures from all the acharyas. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has also explained that what is the position of Vishnu and Krishna. So I'll share one chart to all of you. You can see here. what happens when we are not in contact of Prabhupada's philosophy? Then we have the limited understanding of this material world to be everything. You can see here below Brahma Jyoti. Brahma Jyoti is considered highest, and this blue region and this black portion, this is called material world. This is considered everything. And because we have this much understanding, so therefore we conclude that Vishnu is supreme. And in fact, we don't have the correct understanding about Vishnu also. There are three Vishnus. If you read 7th chapter, verse number 4, in that Prabhupada writes in the purport about three Vishnus. He gives the reference also. Vishnus tva trini rupani purushakyani ato viduhu ekantah mata srishti dutiyam chanda samtatah tritiyam sarvabhutastham. Means Vishnus tva trini rupani. There are three Vishnus, three Purushavataras. Vishnu को पुरुषावतार भी बोलते हैं. पुरुषावतार, three Vishnus. All the three Vishnus are called Purushaavatar. पहला कौन है? Mahavishnnu ekantam tu mahata srishti. The one who created this material world, material universe, जो महातत्व को agitate किए हैं, he is called Mahavishnu. So you can see here in this image, from the pores of Mahavishnu, all the material universes are coming out. So the source of these Brahmandas is Mahavishnu. This is first Vishnu. From the pores of Mahavishnu's body, this material universe, all the material universes are coming out. Then Mahavishnu expands himself and enters all the universes, each and every universes. Mahavishnu enters as Garbhodakshai Vishnu. Now that is second Vishnu who enters. Here you can see that Vishnu has entered here in this one universe. This is one universe. This one universe has 7 layers. You can see here of different colors, black and like this, yellow color, blue color, green color, like that. So these are 7 layers: earth, water, fire, air, ether, and false ego, mind, intelligence, false ego. These are different layers. So inside this material universe, Mahavishnu expands and comes as Garbhodakshai Vishnu. What is the meaning of expansion? Expansion means, just like if you see the tree of banyan tree. In banyan tree, you will see one root. From there, the branch grows, and many branches come out. Then one branch will go again down, and it will go inside the earth again, and again it will come out. So like this, in banyan tree you can see there are many branches which has gone rooted into the ground again. So after suppose 100 or 200 years, it becomes very difficult to find out what is the original root from which this actual banyan tree emerged out. So all appears to be root only. So there you can understand the concept of expansion. This banyan tree has now expanded himself many roots. So expansion means the original thing is not lost. Original personality has expanded himself into another personality, and another personality is also equally powerful, equally potent, having all those qualities as in original personality. And both the personalities are independent, but another personality is coming from this original personality. This is understanding of expansion. So Mahavishnu expands into Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and then again Garbhodaksha Vishnu creates Brahma. From his navel, a lotus is sprouted, and on the top of the lotus flower, Brahma is born. And then, because Brahma has to create the 84 lakh species, so Brahma will do the creation inside this lotus stem. You can see the whole creation is inside the lotus stem, not outside. Outside is nothing. Outside is only Mahavishnu lying down on the ocean. And the whole creation, are all the 14 planetary systems are there inside this lotus stem. You can see. You can read also. See, you can see Satyalok, Tapolok, Janalok, Mahanlok, Swarglok, Bhurlok, Bhurlok, Atal, Vital, Sutal, Talatal, Mahatal, Rasatal, Patal. These are 14 planetary systems inside this lotus stem only, not outside. And to maintain this creation of inside the lotus, this Garbhodaksha Vishnu again expands into Kshirodaksha Vishnu. Here you can see Kshirodaksha Vishnu, who is situated in everyone's heart as Paramatma, and also in each and every atoms also. Because of the presence of Kshirodaksha Vishnu, all the atoms are existing. Otherwise, atoms also cannot exist. You know, atoms are also having 8 elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, ego. Atom is also having mind. That you can understand in Dr. Quantum's double slit experiment. Dr. Quantum has done many experiments. In that you can see, when light is passed through the slit, then it will show another nature. But when you keep one observer in front of the slit and then pass the light, then light will have another nature, much of our surprise. So you can see there how light is same activity is happening, just you kept an observer, light has changed its nature. So by this phenomena we can understand that every matter has mind, intelligence, ego. So Prabhupada says all the matters, just like our body is made of earth, water, fire, air, ether, these 8 elements, matter is also made of all these 8 elements. And this gigantic creation, the basic ingredients are same: earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, ego. These 8 elements are same in atom, in body, and in this material universe. So these are 3 Vishnu: Kshirodaksha Vishnu, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, and Mahavishnu. And these 3 are called Purushavatara. So because we have those who follow Sanatan Dharma, those who have seen the serials, they have the understanding that Vishnu is supreme. Yes, Vishnu is supreme when we have understanding till here, this material world. Ki material world Mahavishnu se aa raha. Yes, Mahavishnu is creating, and then Mahavishnu is expanding inside into Garbhodaksha Vishnu. Then Garbhodaksha Vishnu creates the Brahmaji, and Brahmaji creates all the 14 planetary systems. And to maintain this creation, Garbhodaksha Vishnu again expands himself into Kshirodaksha Vishnu. So these 3 Vishnus are involved into the creation, maintenance of this material world, all these material universes. And the time period of one universe is equal to the time period of inhale and exhale of Krishna, Mahavishnu. The time duration between one inhale and exhale, when Mahavishnu exhales, all the universes are coming out of his body, and when he inhales, all the universes are contracted and goes inside the body of Mahavishnu. Now you see the duration of one universe. It is equal to one breath of Mahavishnu. The time of one breath of Mahavishnu. But when we read Bhagavatam, when we read Bhagavad Gita, and when we take the knowledge from the Acharyas, from the Parampara system, like Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, then we get the higher understanding also. In Brahma Samhita, in Srimad Bhagavatam, the understanding is not this material universe is not everything. There is another world. Here you see Vaikuntha world. न तद्भासते सूर्यो न शशांको न पावक यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धामं परमं मम. You see, beyond this material universe is 1/4 only. This is 1/4, and from here you see where the light is. Here you can see the light. From here till the top, this is 3/4 of total creation. So we don't have the complete knowledge. We have the knowledge of this limited 1/4 understand. That is also we don't have the knowledge. And 3/4 is beyond this material universe. That is called a spiritual world. And when this understanding comes, then the understanding of Vishnu and Krishna, it gets enhanced. Then we understand the original position of what is Krishna's position, what is Vishnu's position. So as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, verse number 7, Mattah parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya. Oh Arjuna, there is no truth superior to me. I am the supreme. I am the supreme personality. There is no truth which is superior to me. No truth, matlab no truth, not including Vishnu. Vishnu is also not superior to Krishna. Then again Krishna says in 10th chapter, verse number 8, Aham sarvasya prabhu matta sarvam prabhu. Everything is emanating from me. Everything means everything. Even Vishnu is also coming from Krishna. This material and spiritual world are also coming from Krishna. And when in Virat Rupa chapter, 11th chapter, when Arjuna was bewildered after seeing this Virat form, then he requested Krishna that kindly you show me your four-armed form, Vishnu form, the beautiful form. So Krishna said, okay, because you are now bewildered by seeing my this horrible feature, so now I'll show you my four-armed form. So 11th chapter, verse number 52, Krishna, he wounded his universal form and presented his four-armed form. And immediately he presented his two-armed form in front of Arjuna. And when he presented himself in two-armed form, two-handed form, to that form specifically, Krishna says, Sudurdarsam idam rupam drishtva asiyanmam. Deva apiyasya rupasya nityam darsan kanchana. To see this form of mine, the great demigods are always eager. Deva apiyasya rupasya nityam darshan. They're eternally to get a glimpse. They are always desirous to have a glimpse of this form which you are beholding now, Arjuna, this two-armed form. So when he assumed four-armed form, he did not say anything, but immediately when he assumed two-armed form, Krishna said, this is the original form. And to behold this form, even great demigods are always desirous. So Krishna is saying all these things. And even 15th chapter, Krishna says, verse number 19, Yo mam evam asvamudo janati purushottama. Anybody who understands me, the greatest among all the personalities, Purushottama. In this verse, Krishna slashes all the doubts of Mayavadis who say that Krishna does not have any form. In this verse, Krishna is saying, I am Purusha, I am having form. And I am best person, I am having the supreme form. You and yo lo yo mam evam ashamuno. One who understands me in this way, janati purushottama. In the what way? That Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Sa sarvavid bhajate mam. He knows everything. He is the knower of all the Vedas. Sarvavid and bhajate mam. He worships me. Sarva bhavena bharata, with all the love and devotion. So this Krishna says in 15th chapter, verse number 19. And then in concluding verse of 15th chapter, Krishna says, Iti guhyatamam shastram. This is the most confidential part of all the scriptures. Vedas, Puranas, Upanishads. They all describe many things. But Krishna says here, 20th verse of 15th chapter, Iti guhyatamam shastram idam uktam mayanaga. This knowledge has been revealed to you by me because you are my friend and sinless, and you are non-envious to me. Therefore, I have revealed this most confidential part of Vedic knowledge to you, that I am the supreme personality of Godhead. So Krishna has here and there, everywhere in Bhagavad Gita, claimed his supremacy, that I am the supreme Lord. And even when Krishna appeared in Vrindavan in 5,000 years before, while he was performing his pastimes, one of the pastimes called Brahma Vimohan Leela, when he enacted, in that pastime, Brahma got bewildered by seeing a Krishna who was just a cowherd boy, like any other ordinary material boy, just like we all of us are there. Krishna was also acting in that way, one ordinary child, having flute in his hand and peacock feather and performing all kinds of miraculous activity. When Krishna killed Aghasur, a very gigantic, great serpent, then this news reached to Brahmaji that one boy of Vrindavan has killed a very gigantic demon called Aghasur, who used to terrorize even demigods. Then Brahma got bewildered. He thought that how can this small child kill the Aghasur? And Brahma forgot that Krishna is Supreme Lord. Then he wanted to trick Krishna, and he stole all the cowherd friends and calves of Krishna by a trick, and took all of the friends of Krishna and cows to Brahmaloka and hid there. So after hiding there, when Brahma returned back, it took 1 year. This is called time dilation. You have understood, no? Twin paradox. आपने physics में पढ़ा होगा twin paradox. That I will not explain. The time dilation means relativity of time. Time relativity exists. 1 year of earthly planet is equal to 1 moment of Brahma. So just Brahma went in his abode, and he had hidden all the gopas and calves in Brahmaloka and just came back. It took just a moment, but in Brahma's calculation it is 1 moment, but on the earth it has passed. 1 year has passed. Now 1 year, Krishna himself had expanded himself. He had expanded himself into all those different forms of gopas, calves, and everything. And Krishna took that form and was living with their mothers. Just see, you'd have watched that little Krishna video, which I had shared in the group also, I think. So Krishna expanded himself in as many forms as the gopas were, and as many forms as the calves were. So Krishna assumed those forms, and Krishna lived with their mothers, and their mothers could not understand that this is not my own son, this is Krishna. And Krishna was everywhere in Vrindavan. And when this went on for 1 complete year. And after 1 year, when Brahma came, so Brahma saw that all the gopas, means cowherd boys, and calves are still there playing with Krishna. So he got bewildered. What is happening here? He exclaimed like this: I have stolen and hidden all the cowherd boys and calves to my abode. How can they are here? So then immediately Krishna expanded himself into all those forms in which Krishna had expanded. They got converted into Vishnu form. And Krishna is standing in middle, and surrounding him all the Vishnus, millions of Vishnus are standing. So when I first saw, very first time, 7 or 8 years before this video, that time only my doubt of Vishnu and Krishna was clear, that who is supreme, who is coming from whom. So from in that past time, Krishna exhibited that all these Vishnus, we have understanding of one Vishnu only, but actually that is not correct understanding. There are not only one Vishnu, there are unlimited Vishnus, and all these unlimited Vishnus are surrounding Krishna, and Krishna is playing his flute, small baby, small boy, having peacock feather and flute. And when Brahma saw this scene, he was completely bewildered. And then he paid obeisances to Krishna and begged forgiveness. So by this pastime also Krishna exhibited that all the Vishnu forms are coming from Krishna. And in Bhagavatam, in fact, Char Kumaras, the four sons of Brahmaji, the four celebrated celibates, they say in fourth canto, chapter number 22, verse number 39, he says that Tava Pad Pankaj Palas Vilas Bhaktya, and then finally he says Sroto Gadas Tadaranam Bhaj Vasudevam, that to get out of this material world is not at all possible by performing yoga, dhyan, or any other kinds of activities. But it becomes very easy when we take shelter of Vasudeva, the son of Vasudeva. We get quickly out of this material world. So this comes in Bhagavatam by Char Kumaras. And what does Lord Shiva says? Lord Shiva has said many times at many places. One verse which comes in Bhagavatam is on in the fourth canto, 24th chapter, verse number 28. He says that Yah param brahmasa sakshat tri guna jiva samagitat bhagavantam vasudevam prapanna sa priyosime. Bhagavantam Vasudeva, Vasudev, Bhagavan Vasudeva, one who is the controller of three modes and the living entities. He is the supreme. And anybody who serves, who is devotee of that Vasudeva, he is very dear to me. Lord Shiva says this. Lord Shiva is saying to Prachetas that anybody who is devotee of Krishna is very dear to me. And even in Padma Purana also, Lord Shiva says, and like this, even when Lord Shiva appeared in the form of Sankaracharya, he said, Bhaj Govindam, Govindam, Bhaj Moodamate. You are, all of us are fools and rascals. You should worship Govinda. So even Lord Shiva also is saying that Govinda, Krishna is the supreme. And also Sankaracharya says, Sa Bhagwan Swayam Krishna, that Bhagwan is Krishna. And in Bhagavatam, while Ved Vyasa was describing about different incarnations in first canto, third chapter name is Origin of all the incarnations, source of all the incarnations. So he described many incarnations. Then he said, as there are unlimited waves in the oceans, similarly there are unlimited incarnations and expansions of absolute truth. And finally, in 28th verse of third chapter of first canto, Vedvyas said that Ete cham sakala pumsam Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. First he described about all the expansion and incarnation. Then he concluded that all these incarnations and expansions are coming from Krishna. They are either expansion of Krishna or expansion of Krishna. So he says, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, the Bhagavan is Krishna. Absolute truth is Krishna. And from Krishna, all the incarnations are coming. Even Vishnu is also expansion of Krishna. These three Vishnu which we saw, Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, Chirodakshay Vishnu, this Mahavishnu is expansion of Krishna. How? When we get this understanding of complete manifestation of material and spiritual world, then we understand that in the spiritual world there is something called Goloka Vrindavan, where Krishna eternally resides. Here Krishna resides eternally. Sometimes he comes into the material world here in black zone. So we think that Krishna has now taken birth, and because Krishna comes in this material world through Vishnu, so we understand that Krishna is incarnation of Vishnu. But no, before coming to this world, Krishna was already existing to this pink world. Gulabi Sahar mein already Krishna the. Here Krishna is always eternally performing pastimes along with his devotees. And this is 3/4 creation. Here 99% of the population is here in this spiritual world. Prabhupada says 1 or 2%, very few are here in this material world. We are very few. Majority of the population is here. All are here, Krishna's devotees serving Krishna. So once in the day of Brahma, we have discussed in fourth chapter, 1000 कलयुग के बाद कृष्णा अवतार लेते हैं, कृष्णा अपीयर्स इन दिस मटेरियल वर्ल्ड एंड 999 कलयुग में कृष्णा यहीं रहते, एक कलयुग में 999 द्वापर युग में कृष्णा गोलोक धाम में रहते हैं, एक द्वापर युग में कृष्णा कलयुग यहाँ इस कलयुग इसमें आते हैं मटेरियल वर्ल्ड में, एंड दैट द्वापर युग just passed 5000 years before. So now you see how fortunate we are that Krishna just appeared in this Dwapar Yuga which just passed. Otherwise, you see, every day of Brahma there are 1000 Dwapar Yugas, and Krishna comes in Dwapar Yuga. There are 4 Yugas: Satyug, Treta, Dwapar, Kalyug, and Krishna appears in Dwapar Yuga. Not each and every Dwapar Yuga, once in thousands. There are thousands of Dwapar Yugas. So एक बार एक द्वापर युग में कृष्णा आते हैं, and that द्वापर युग just passed in which Krishna appeared. So how fortunate we are, just see. So when we have this understanding that Krishna is eternally here, is residing, and he comes once in the day of Brahma, तो हमें समझ में आता, अच्छा अच्छा, कृष्णा is actually eternally existing, not that कृष्णा विष्णु भगवान एक्सपैंड इनकारनेट हुए कृष्णा के रूप में, और जब लीला खत्म हो गई तो कृष्णा भी खत्म हो गए. देयर इज नो मोर कृष्णा, ओनली विष्णु एग्जिस्ट. नो, विष्णु इज इटर्नली एग्जिस्टिंग, कृष्णा इज आल्सो इटर्नली एग्जिस्टिंग. सो कृष्णा ही एक्सपैंड करते हैं महाविष्णु में. दिस महाविष्णु यू सी हु इज लाइंग डाउन फ्रॉम whom all the universes are coming out, he is expansion of कृष्णा. कृष्णा से ये आए हैं, और ये महाविष्णु ने ये मटेरियल यूनिवर्स को बनाया है. महाविष्णु इज द क्रिएटर ऑफ दिस मटेरियल यूनिवर्स, एंड द ओनली पर्पज ऑफ विष्णु इज टू मेंटेन एंड क्रिएट दिस मटेरियल यूनिवर्स. विष्णु इज नॉट देयर इन स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड, विष्णु इज देयर हियर इन दिस मटेरियल वर्ल्ड. द रोल ऑफ विष्णु इज to take care of this material universe affair, material universal affair, and Krishna is there in this spiritual world performing pastimes. So what is the relation between Krishna and Vishnu? That is explained by Brahma ji. Brahma says, दीपार्चर एव हि दशांतरम अभ्युपेत्य दीपायते विवृत हेतु समान धर्म यस्तादेव हि च विष्णुतया विभाति गोविंदमादि पुरुषम तमहम भजामि. Even Brahma also says Krishna is the original personality, cause of all causes, and he is having a form, and his form is made of Sat Chidananda, eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge. And that Krishna has expanded himself into Mahavishnu. And how he has expanded? Just like there is one candle, and from that candle you lit many other candles. So what is the difference? There is no difference. Practically there is no difference between the candles. All the candles are having equal intensity and light, yes or no? But there is one candle which is lighting all other candle, that is original candle, and that original candle is Govindamadi Purusham. That Govinda, Krishna, is original candle who is expanding all other Vishnu forms. So then another verse Brahmaji says Advaitam Achyutam Anadi Manantarup. Just like here you see there are so many forms, no? These are all Narayana forms, Rama, Narsimha, Varaha, Vaman, and so many unlimited incarnations, as we have heard in Dashavatar, no? Ram avatar, Narsimha avatar, Vaman avatar, Matsya avatar, Parasuram avatar. So many unlimited incarnations. All these incarnations are like different candles, but all these incarnations are coming from whom? Krishna. Just like Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa, Narsimhadev Bhagwan is the incarnation of Krishna. Keshav means Krishna ने नरसिंह रूप लिया, कृष्णा ने मछली का रूप लिया, कृष्णा ने राम का रूप लिया. So all these different forms are incarnations of Krishna. So two words I use, incarnation and expansion. What is the difference between incarnation and expansion? Expansion means when Krishna expands and remains in the spiritual world only. Krishna remains in the spiritual world only, that is called expansion. But that expansion, when it comes to material world, that is called incarnation, avatar. Incarnation को हिंदी में बोलते हैं अवतार. अवतार मतलब जब कृष्णा भौतिक जगत में आते हैं तो उसको बोलते हैं अवतार. अवतार Otherwise, that is expansion. Krishna is already there in the spiritual world. So when the forms are existing in the spiritual world, that is called expansion. And when that form, Lord Rama is there in the spiritual world, there is abode of Ayodhya. Here you can see here it is written Ayodhya. Ayodhya is there in the spiritual world also, not here on the earth in UP where Ram Mandir is going to be constructed. So this is also Ayodhya, but this Ayodhya is expansion of that Ayodhya. So here Lord Rama is eternally residing. So all the forms are eternally existing in the spiritual world. Ram, Narasimha, Varaha, Vaman, and those forms at times, different times, they descend in this material world. And Prabhupada gives another understanding that just like there is a high court judge, so high court judge जब घर पे आता है तो क्या करता है? His activities are completely different from the activity which he is performing in the high court. High court में जब वो रहेगा with awe and reverence and everything, you cannot go and sit on the equal level of high court judge. You cannot put your shoulder on the judge. You cannot do anything. You have to go and bow down. It is said that even Prime Minister comes, judge will not stand up from his seat. That is the position of Prime Minister. That is the position of judge. Judge never stands up. But with great awe and reverence, we respect him and we give all the services to him. But that same judge, when he comes to home, then how he deals with his wife, his children, his grandchildren will say, Dada, Dada, please become horse. So that same judge has become now horse, and he's carrying his grandchildren on his back and walking, crawling. See, these children, that person is same, but activity is completely different. Here, completely, casual, and but outside, when he is in the court, that is completely full of awe and reverence, for a formal. But in the home, he is open, not at all, he is not maintaining any gravity, fully mixing with his grandchildren, his wife, everything. So this is the difference. Judge in the court, judge at home. Krishna is judge at home. Vishnu is judge in the court. Vishnu is very with great awe and reverence. You cannot go and put your hand on the shoulder of Vishnu. No, Vishnu cannot accept. Vishnu is carrying Sankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, and very grave. You should go and offer obeisance. You should keep glorifying Vishnu. You cannot perform any activity with Vishnu. But Krishna, you can do anything. You can go and sit down on the head of Krishna. You can put your leg on the head of Krishna. As the Gopas in Vrindavan, they used to tease Krishna. They used to, beat also Krishna. It's like Krishna is carrying the sandal of his own father. Sandal of his own father. So like that. So personality is the one, but mood is different. So Vishnu and Krishna, they are the one personality, but mood is different. In Krishna's form is original, and that form Krishna is exhibiting every quality. He is relating with his devotees in 5 kinds of mellows: Santaras, Dasharas, Vatsalyaras, Shakyaras, Madhuriras. These are 5 rasas in which Krishna relates with his devotees. But Vishnu does not relate with his devotees in these 5 mellows. Vishnu relates with his devotees in only Dasyaras, no Sakyaras, no Vatsalya, no Madhurya, only Dasya and Shantaras, that's all. But with Krishna, you can have all the 5 exchanges of 5 rasas. So even in the exchange also, you can see Krishna's position is high. And Krishna has 4 unique qualities which are not there even in Vishnu. Krishna plays flute. Krishna's form is very, very attractive, which attracts the living entity in the whole universe. Krishna performs activities with his devotees, and Krishna is always surrounded by his devotees who are offering him services in different relationships. So these are 4 qualities which Krishna has. Krishna performs Leela, childhood pastimes which Vishnu cannot perform. Krishna is always surrounded by with his devotees who are offering service to Krishna in different mellows. And Krishna is playing flute and attracting the whole world. And Krishna's form is most attractive. Brahmaji says that Krishna's form is so very attractive that if you combine the crores of Kamadev and make one single person, that beauties cannot also excel the beauty of Krishna. See, Kamdev is very, very beautiful, but you combine crores of Kamdev and create one person, how much beautiful he would be? Very beautiful, no? But Krishna's beauty is so charming, even how crores of Kamdev gets attracted by Krishna's beauty. So, like this, if we read the scriptures, we understand from the Acharyas, we read Bhagavad Gita, we read Bhagavatam, Lord Shiva says that Krishna is supreme, and Krishna is the original personality. From Krishna, Vishnu has expanded, and Vishnu is maintaining this universe, material universe, and Krishna performs his Leela in the spiritual world in Golok Vrindavan. Once in the day of Brahma he comes, so therefore people misunderstand that he is the incarnation of Vishnu, because Krishna comes through Vishnu. Just like a prime minister, if he has to come to Jaipur, then first he will inform to CM that I am coming, and then CM will inform to magistrate, DM of this particular place, and then DM and CM will do all the arrangements, then PM will come. PM cannot come. Similarly, Krishna, when he comes through Vishnu. So therefore people misunderstand that Krishna is the incarnation of Vishnu, but actually Vishnu is the expansion of Krishna, and Vishnu is involved into material welfare, maintaining the material creation and everything. But Krishna is always there in the spiritual world performing pastimes here. Okay, so I hope now you have got the understanding that how Krishna is the source of all the incarnations, as said by Brahmaji, as said by Lord Shiva, as said by Vedavyas, as said by Krishna himself personally in Bhagavad Gita. And we all belong to that Krishna. We are part and parcel of Krishna, that Krishna who is there in the spiritual world, Golok Vrindavan Dham. And there he is performing eternal pastime. And because we are also eternal, so we have to go back to the spiritual world, eternal world of Krishna, enjoy there with Krishna. Then only we can be happy and fulfill our deepest quest, deepest instinct. Otherwise, we'll be always frustrated, depressed, and feel always incompleteness, and will commit suicide, just like today it is happening in this world. So with this, I will stop. Today discussion was very long because topic was also very long, Vishnu and Krishna. Yet I have not covered all the points. There are many points which are remaining. But I think through this discussion you have now got the basic understanding how Krishna is the supreme origin of all the incarnations. Not that Vishnu is the incarnation of Krishna, but Krishna is the source of all other incarnations as per the scriptures. Bhagavatam, Brahma Samhita, Bhagavad Gita, and all the Acharya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that Krishna is supreme. All the Acharyas like Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, Vishnu Swami, Prabhupada, 6 Goswamis, they all have unanimously accepted that Krishna is the origin, fountainhead of all incarnations. Krishna is the fountainhead of all incarnations. Therefore, Prabhupada has coined this word, the supreme personality of Godhead. Krishna, the supreme personality of Godhead. So anytime when Prabhupada writes Krishna, he will also write the supreme personality of Godhead, because Krishna is supreme. Okay, now I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.